Hello again, my fellow Patriots. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela Box, and you're watching Angela's Soapbox, where I say what you're thinking, which I do. Now, before we begin, let me get my Diet Coke with my contraband plastic straw. Take a little sippy sip, and this plastic straw is dedicated to two losers this week. The first being the dead Muslim terrorist named Yabba Dabba Dabba Al-Baghdadi in Syria. Way to go, President Trump. And the other is to Nancy Pelosi, the biggest loser of them all, because she can't be trusted with anything, and she is a nightmare. And so that's dedicated to her. Now, before we begin, I have to make this short and sweet because it is Game 6 tonight of the World Series, and my girlfriends are already complaining that I'm filming this video instead of meeting them right now, so I'm going to try and rush this along. Speaking of the World Series, last week when I shot, I was wearing my orange, and it was, I think, Game 1. And they lost. And then Game 2 came, and they lost really bad at home from the Nationals. And I thought, oh, this is going to just be terrible. But then they came back, and they won 3 in a row. Now, I have never had a beef with the Washington Nationals. I'm not really a sports person. I do love all the Houston teams, obviously. But man, what I saw on Sunday night at the National Stadium was really despicable, actually. President Trump was there with several people, his wife, and John Ratcliffe I saw, and a lot of other people. And what did those swamp rats do that were in the stands? Why, they booed President Trump, and they shouted, lock him up, and all the other things that swamp rats do. And remember who the Washington Nationals fan base is. It's those people in D.C. and the surrounding areas. So, I guess it's sort of like, it's kind of cool when your enemy shows you exactly who they are, and it makes you reinforce exactly why you're against them. So I know that most of normal America is rooting for the Astros, and let's hope they finish it out tonight. Okay, now this week in Angela's Soapbox and on redpillpundit.com, my article is entitled What Lies the Left Has Created, the Truth Will Surely Destroy. And I'm going to kind of reference it because there's a lot of things here that I want to make sure I get to, and I want to make this quick. Okay. Now, a lot of people have complained about the conservative movement, saying that we're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists because we believe that there's some nefarious actors going on who are trying to frame President Trump and his staffers and people he works with and try and destroy him in this mythical thing called the deep state. Well, the deep state, which even the New York Times has recently had to begrudgingly admit it exists because they know it's coming. It's not a conspiracy if it's actually happening. Now, I want to ask you this premise, liberals and leftists, and maybe just people who aren't paying that much attention to this, or who are just starting to understand kind of what's going on. When they call us stupid and conspiracy theorists and all the names they call us, who are really the dum-dums? Is it the people who are trying to get to the bottom of this hoax, this Russian hoax, which, liberals thought that Robert Mueller was going to come out with this slam dunk collusion and obstruction case against Donald Trump, and he got a big old fat goose egg? So who are the stupid ones? The ones that want to get to the bottom of that, or the ones who have believed the BS spoon-fed to them by the media for 3+ years that Donald Trump is a Russian asset and a Russian agent? I mean, who are the dum-dums here? Seriously. All right. So, now, my premise is this. What if all the things that the Patriots absolutely know happened, what if they actually did happen, and it's not a real conspiracy? So we have to go all the way back to when James Comey, quote, exonerated Hillary Clinton in 2016 for the email server. So what if that exoneration was for two purposes? The first purpose was, of course, to make sure that got out of the way and Hillary Clinton had a smooth shot at being elected president without any baggage dragging her down. Now, remember, James Comey was Barack Obama's FBI chief, so that would make sense. What if the second reason that the exoneration had to occur, because it had to occur, was that a President Hillary Clinton would never, ever expose herself or any of the other Obama players in this plot to take down Donald Trump. So, and also, of course, she would never implicate herself in the crime she committed with the email server and all the other things she did. So that's point number one. Now, now remember the DNC server in 2016 was hacked during the primary season. And we learned a lot of information in those emails, mainly that they were rigging the system for Hillary Clinton and trying to hurt Bernie Sanders, because no one thought this crusty old socialist had a chance. But lo and behold, there are a lot of stupid Democrats out there, and there was a lot of people who hated Hillary Clinton, which, I concur, so I get that part. So, now remember, the DNC server, ostensibly, we'd been told by the media and Democrats themselves that it was hacked by Russia. So that's how they had to start setting up this narrative. Now, how do we know it's hacked by Russia? We don't know that because the DNC never allowed the FBI to look at the server. Did you know that? Well, we knew that, but maybe the rank and file person didn't. Instead, they farmed out this job to a Ukrainian company called CrowdStrike. Now, CrowdStrike may sound familiar because it was the company that President Trump was asking Zelensky about on the now released transcript of the phone call, saying, we might want to look into that. There might be something there. Now, the owner of CrowdStrike, or the CEO of CrowdStrike, is a Ukrainian guy, I think a Russian defector. I don't know his name, something Ski, I don't know. Anyway, the point is that he's a huge Vladimir Putin, hates this guy. Now, I have no I'm not a pleader for Russia or Vladimir Putin, and neither is President Trump. But the point is the guy that said that Russia hacked the DNC server is a big Russian hater. So, fun fact there. Now, also, the CrowdStrike said that the Russians hacked it, and that's there's nothing to see here. So the FBI never saw the DNC server. But here's a curious thing. Now, Julian Assange, as we know, is in London and probably is going to be extradited to America. Hopefully, they're keeping him very safe, and I think that they are for many reasons. But Julian Assange has always said from day one that the person who gave him the DNC emails was not connected to a state actor, meaning it was not Russia. Now, what if, hang on guys, because I know this is a big conspiracy bugaboo for you leftists, what if the person who gave Julian Assange the emails was a DNC staffer and a Bernie Sanders supporter by the name of Seth Rich? Yeah. The download speeds that were reported were much higher than would have been achieved if the hacker was coming from an outside source. So they were able to find out that the speeds that the information was downloaded were so fast that it had to be someone in the building, probably putting it on a thumb drive, taking the thumb drive out and giving it to Assange. Now, Seth Rich, again, a Bernie Sanders supporter, who, wouldn't it make sense that that's why the information would be given to Julian Assange, to show how the DNC was rigging the system for Bernie Sanders? Seems to make sense to me. Now, Seth Rich was murdered mysteriously a few weeks after the emails came to light, and his murder has never been solved. But curious thing, I believe the DC police was asked to stand down on the investigation by the federal government. So, curiouser and curiouser, wouldn't you say? Now, what if this CrowdStrike organization was also connected to Fusion GPS, which was the organization hired by Hillary Clinton in order to create the now infamous Christopher Steele dossier? Now, Christopher Steele was an former MI6 agent, so he's British, who had connections to Russia. Now, see again, who's connected to Russia? It isn't President Trump, it's the Democrats. So Christopher Steele invents this gets this crazy dossier put together about Trump urinating on a bed with hookers and all these people connected to Trump who are supposedly Russian agents, which is completely made up out of whole cloth, unverified, salacious, not verifiable, so much so that when Hillary Clinton tried to shop it around to different media outlets, even the media was like, we can't touch this. This is complete it's not verified. We can't run with this. So instead, what happened? Well, somehow it was given to people like James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, with the knowledge of Barack Obama, to get a FISA warrant based on the Steele dossier. Now, they have lied through their teeth, saying that the Steele dossier was not the primary source for the FISA warrants. BS. And that's what's going to come out, that it was the only source for the 4 FISA warrants used to spy against President Trump, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, God knows who else. Now, here's another fun fact. What if this organization's Fusion GPS was paid by a Democrat law firm cutout by the name of Perkins Coie, which of course was connected to Hillary Clinton? See, they had to circumvent those campaign finance laws, you see. They had to get around that somehow. So all these people getting paid millions of dollars to pull crap out of their butts were getting paid by Hillary Clinton and her campaign, with the full knowledge of Barack Obama and the Obama Justice Department and the Obama FBI and the Obama CIA. You see where this is going, kids? I think you do. And a quick aside about Barack Obama, the hashtag first black president. If Barack Obama didn't have his filthy fingerprints all over all of this, how come we haven't heard anything about that from him? If he has been maligned by us right-wing Nazis, as he and his likes to call us, how come we haven't heard him come out and say, I had nothing to do with this? If these people were doing this, it was without my knowledge. This is terrible. We haven't heard a word, have we? No, and we won't, because his fingerprints are all over it. But I digress. Now, what if we discover through this investigation that William Barr is doing and John Durham is looking into, and also don't forget John Huber in Utah, who's looking at the Clinton email snafu. That's still going on. What if we discover that not only was President Trump surveilled, but also candidate Ted Cruz? What if we also discover that lots of Republicans were perhaps spied on and their campaigns were looked at? Because remember, the deep state and the Democrats and the Obama administration, they didn't know who they were going to have to set up until President Trump became the nominee for the Republicans. So they had to look at a lot of people, and they had to try and get dirt on all of them, just in case. Now, going back to the Ukrainian, I'm sorry to go all over the place here, but there's a lot of information here. Now, what if this Ukrainian whistleblower, the infamous whistleblower who says that Trump asked for a quid pro quo, and that's why this stupid impeachment inquiry is even going in the first place, which, by the way, I'm all for this. I want all those Democrats on the record. And you know who I want on the record? All those Democrats who are in Trump districts, who had their seats flipped in 2018 because of this bogus impeachment and bogus Russia investigation. I want those Democrats on the record. Let's see how many of them go with the party line or want to protect their careers. Regardless, they need to be swept out in 2020 regardless. Okay, so anyway, what if this Ukrainian whistleblower was actually connected to Joe Biden, to Barack Obama, and what if this whistleblower's boss actually was a special assistant to Barack Obama and connected to Adam Schiff and all the people that are blowing the whistle? What if? What if they thought that President Trump would never, ever release the transcript because they didn't want that president to be set? That world leaders calling into the president of the United States were going to have to worry if their calls were going to be released to the media, and they had no sense of privacy. So what if they thought that would never happen? So they made up this insane story about Joe Biden and digging up dirt and poor Hunter and all the other crap that they've done that's now blowing up in their face. So all of that together, ladies and gentlemen, is the basis of what William Barr is getting to the bottom of, John Durham is getting to the bottom of, and President Trump has said from day one, I'm innocent, I didn't do these things, they're making it up, they're trying to destroy me. And here's the dirty little secret. Not only are they trying to destroy President Trump because they hate him just for basically existing, because he's effective and he's a disruptor, and he's doing they've never been able to do, and he's coming in and he's showing him how it's done. So not only are they trying to destroy him, but they're also just trying to destroy the 63 million Americans who voted for him. Because never forget this, President Trump is only going to have 8 years when he wins in 2020, which he will win. He's only going to have 8 years, but then after that, they're going to have to worry about us still, the deplorables, the scum they hate, the people who want a secure border and who want low taxes and who want deregulation and who want America to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, not an open borders globalist conglomerate where Americanism is frowned upon and we're all called bigots and racists and all the things they call us. They're going to still have to worry about us. So even after President Trump is gone, we deplorables, they're going to have to destroy us. So they're trying to destroy our president. And we're not going to let them, ladies and gentlemen, because President Trump is innocent and he's going to prove it. And so are all the people surrounding him are innocent as well. So I know this went pretty long. I was trying to make it short, but it didn't work out that way. Oh well. Anyway, here's to the dead terrorists. I hope he's enjoying all of his goats and virgins in hell. And here's to the idiot Democrats who continue to try and take down our duly elected president. You're not going to win, because we're going to win, because we got the truth, baby. Now, make sure you're subscribed. Read my article this week in Angela's Soapbox and Red Pill Pundit. Go Astros! Let's close it out tonight, and I will see you guys next week on Angela's Soapbox. Thank you, and bye-bye.